Friends, welcome to examination. In this lecture, we will going to study about the debt-based instrument, capital market debt-based instruments. Okay, so what are the debt-based instruments? They are nothing but they are another name for the debt-based instruments is bond and debenture. So let's see what is happen. Okay, let's say there is a government or any financial manager can be there who want to issue some bonds. So he want to raise the fund through the debt market. So what he will do, he will issue some bond. Some bond would be there. Okay, say there is a bond. For example, I have taken an example of a government bond. It would be issued and the investor will buy this bond. Okay, this bond will go to this investor, and in return of this, investor will give the money to the government or whoever issued that bond. So it's as a investor has given a money to the government in return of this bond. Okay, so this is what the bond would be, and now what would investor will get in return, that we need to understand. In this bond there would be written that the two things would be mentioned. One is the price of the bond, and one is the coupon rate on that bond, how much interest he will get, and one more thing is the maturity date, maturity when the bond is being matured. So till now story was the government has issued the bond, investor has given the money in return of that bond. Now what the government will give, government will provide the coupon rate to the investor, coupons to the investor. For example, if it is a 10 rupees is the total interest on whatever this amount, then this at the regular interval the interest will be provided by the government to the investor. Okay, so coupon would be paid at a regular interval. Further, at the time of maturity, let's say it is a 4-year bond. Okay, so at the end of 4th year, government will also pay back the money. Okay, whatever the redeem value of that bond. Okay, for example, at the issuance of time of bond, at the issuance time, if government says that its bond would be redeemed for 1000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, that means that redeem value will be paid back to the investor at the maturity. Okay, so bond will be redeemed on the maturity. So this is what would be the bond. Here the income is more or less is certain. Okay, so now this is the just duplicate slide. Now here the bond is nothing but a fixed income security. Why it is called fixed income security? Because in return of the bond, if I am investing in doing any investment into the bond, I will get some money in return of that. That's why it's a fixed income security. Here the issuer, for example, in our case, government was the issuer pays a fixed amount of interest periodically. If it is a interest need to be paid after each 3 months, then each and every time after 3 months, issuer will pay the coupons to the investor. Similarly, issuer will repay a fixed amount of principal at the date of maturity. In a way, it is nothing but is a loan type of thing only. Okay, now these are various terminology which are used into the bond market. One is your face value. Now face value is nothing but value stated on the face of a bond. For example, if at the time of issuance bond value is bond face, it's been written that bond for rupees 1000 at the rate of or 100,000 at the rate of 10% is issued, and maturity period is 3 years. Okay, so that 1000 rupees would be the face value. Actual market price may be different. Actual market price may be different from this 1000 rupees. Now for the redemption value of a bond is at the time of maturity, whatever the amount government will pay back to the investor, that is your redemption value. Generally redemption value and face value remains the same. At least in India it is practiced that redemption value and face value is the same, and market value in a way is a bond price which is at which bond is actually traded into the market, and coupon rate is nothing but the interest which will be provided by the issuer to the bond holder or bond buyer. Okay, that is the coupon rate. Now there is a further maturity. I have already told you at the time when the amount will be redeemed to the bond holder or investor. Call date and call price is a derivative. When we will do the derivative, then we will able to understand this call date and call price. So these are various bond terminology. Now we look at the how a value of a bond is calculated. Okay, it's a simply would be the present value of the cash inflow would be the bond with the maturity value. You simply take the whatever the interest you are getting over the time, you will simply take that interest and you will discount that interest with appropriate discount factor, and you will get the bond value. Okay, so for example, here this is calculated. B naught is equal to interest over 1 plus r, that is required rate of return or your discount rate, plus every year you are getting interest int. If it is a int is a coupon you are getting every year. Okay, and you will discount it for n years, and on nth year you are getting a redeem value, that is you are getting your money back. You means investor getting his money back. You will discount that value with the number as well. Okay, so this is how you can calculate the present value of a bond. Again, I am saying that it's the value of a bond, and R is the required rate of return by an investor. Okay, now this is a way bond with maturity. There are three types of bond. One is bond with maturity, which is a simple thing. Every year you are getting an interest, and at the end of the maturity you are getting the redeem value. For the perpetual bond is where you are getting the interest or getting the coupon for the infinite time. That is your interest. Zero coupon bond is where you are getting no coupon, no interest at all, but at the end of year you are getting at the end of maturity, or whenever maturity is acquired is achieved, you are getting some lump sum amount. That is your zero coupon bond. Okay, so these are the value in each of the cases. You can understand it. Redemption value into present value factor. Now what is this present value factor, present value annuity factor? This is nothing but, if you look into this slide, present value annuity factor is nothing but the value of this number. Okay, and present value factor is value of this number. So that's why we have replaced this total number with PVAF, present value annuity factor, for nth year, and RR is the discount rate. Okay, so in this way you can calculate the value of a bond for different type of bonds. Now bond pricing, let's understand within an example. I would say it's a bond value thing we are getting now. Pricing में हम जाएंगे थोड़ी देर में. That in Indian government issue a bond with a face value of 100 rupees, and 5.375% is the bond coupon rate. Yearly interest payment would be nothing but your coupon rate is 5.375. It is a percentage, and the percentage will be calculated on the face value. That is, this much of a interest a person will get. If I will buy this bond, I will get this much of interest every year. Now this amount is called bonds coupon, or simply coupon. Now every year I will get this much of a cash inflow. In first year I will get the 5.375 rupees. In second year also this much of rupees, this much of rupees, this much and this much of rupees, and it is maturing on sixth year. Maturing is at 6 years. On the sixth year, one component is the coupon which I will get. Along with that I will get a redemption value, which is nothing, if it is not mentioned anywhere that what is the redemption value, so you will take it as a face value. Okay, face value, redemption value by default is same, but sometimes they may be different. That would be mentioned at the time of issuance of a bond. So this is what the cash flow will look like in a bond. Now you will just discount it with appropriate discount rate factor. Okay, so what that discount rate factor, that we will look in a moment. Now whatever the number will come, that would be your present value of the cash inflow which you will get if you will buy that bond. So this is what is the present value above payoff. If I take a required rate of return at 3.8%, and I will discount all the cash flow with 3.8%, so whatever the value I will get, that would be the value of this bond. Okay, now what would be the price of this bond? Now that we understand with an example. This example will things put under the perspective. Let's say there is a bond which is 100 rupees is the face value of that bond, and coupon rate is 12%, and is redeemable in 10 years. Okay, then we have to find out the value of a bond if required rate of return is 12%, 10% and 14%. Different person is having different rate of return, so bond value will be different for different person. Okay, because discount rate would be different for each of them. Okay, so the face value is 1000 rupees, coupon rate is 12, that means coupon payment is 120 rupees per annum. Maturity is if it is 10 years, and redemption value is 1000 here. So if I will calculate the redemption value for each of these person, for example for the RAM, I have taken a 12% as an interest rate, sorry, as a discount rate, and the value, if I calculate the present value of 120 and redemption value of 1000 rupees, with that the present your value of a bond would be 1000 rupees. This is the one case. Second case, value of a bond for Sham, it would be B note at the rate 10%, 120 into this is the present value annuity factor at the rate of 10%. Okay, for 10 years, and you will get this much of a number. So in a way you are getting the present value, all the cash flow for all of the person, with their respective required rate of return is taken as a discount rate. For example, in this case we have taken a discount rate as 12%, here 10%, here 14%. So whatever number you will get, for example in each of this, that is the value of a bond for individual. For example, for the RAM, value of a bond is 1000 rupees, whereas for the Sham value of bond is 1123, and for the Mohan value of a bond 896 rupees. Okay, so but actual market price is not any of these number. Actual market price is 1050. Okay, so in a way, if 1050 is a value of a bond, sorry, 105 is the actual price of a bond, for a person among 3 is for a person for whom the value of bond is more than the actual price of bond. For example, in case of Sham, actual value of a bond for Sham is 1123, whereas in market it is available for 1050. So you will definitely buy this bond. So only Sham will buy this bond, but Ram and Mohan will not buy this bond. This is a scenario. How you can calculate how you can use the value of bond and to make a particular decision. So remember how this how this price will come up. Okay, so in a market, for example, if I take an example of a government has issued a bond. Government has issued a bond, and let's say government issued 1,000 bonds. Okay, whereas in the market there are 5,000 people who want to buy this bond. Okay, there is a demand for 5,000 bonds, whereas the supply is 1,000 bonds. Then there is a bid mechanism will happen. People will start to bidding out for this bond. Okay, so in this case, how this is a market mechanism depending upon the supply demand dynamics. For example, if I take on same which you have learned in one of the video, that is the price and this is the number of bonds, and the price of bond would increase, your supply of bond would be like this and the demand would be like this. Now this is the equilibrium point. This is how the price of a bond would be decided. Okay, so this is how the price of the bond would be there according to market supply demand dynamics. With that you will find out the supply of a bond, price of a bond. Now in a way I can say that bond price would be discounted value of the cash inflow, and the discount rate would be the required rate of return मार्केट एज ए होल. ठीक है, अगर डिस्काउंट रेट आप जैसे यहाँ पर हमने डिस्काउंट रेट लिया अलग अलग लोगों के लिए अलग अलग. फॉर एग्जांपल राम के लिए 12%, शाम के लिए 10% एंड मोहन के लिए 14%. इफ आई टेक एवरेज मार्केट रिक्वायर्ड रेट ऑफ रिटर्न कि मार्केट एज ए होल हाउ मच रिटर्न दे वांट्स, then whatever the number will come, that would be my price of that bond. Okay, so now again a bond valuation behavior from the last example itself. If your required rate of return is equal to coupons rate, then your bond value will be equal to par value that you can verify numerically. Similarly, if coupon rate is less than required rate of return, okay, that is CR is less than this, then bond value would be less than par value, 100 से less होगा, right? Similarly, in the last case, when coupon rate is more than required rate of return, your bond value will be more than your face value. This would be the bond valuation behavior. Now this is in this slide you can see that if in the last slide what we have done, we have assumed that interest you are getting every year. If it is a semi-annual bond, which is generally a practice in India, then you will get the interest after 6 months. That's why the bond value may you will, if your interest is 10% per annum, rather than taking 10% you will take the 5%. Okay, this is 5%, and you will discount this by, if it is for n year, you will not discount it by for n years, but you will discount by for 2n times. Okay, that's why 2n time is written here. So if it is semi-annual thing, then you will do this stuff to calculate, to arrive at the bond value. Okay, with this we will stop. In the next slide we will try to understand what is the yield to maturity for the bond.